Let me just press record here. Great, welcome. And well, if you notice that your mute button is unmuted, please just make sure that you're muted throughout the call so we don't get the background noise. We'll begin today with a short settling practice to ground the energy. And then we're going to move into talking about the Ayurvedic perspective of staying healthy, boosting your immune system, and I'm going to offer a few different Ayurvedic tips for staying healthy at this time. I'm going to walk you through some breathing practices for calming and regulating the nervous system, just in case you're feeling a little frazzled or overwhelmed, or maybe even gone into some really intense emotion of fear or anxiety during this really unprecedented time on our planet. Then I'm going to be walking you through and taking you through an experience of a theta healing meditation. And this practice is supportive in reprogramming the subconscious mind and negative conditioning or negative beliefs. So we'll get an opportunity at the end to have an experience of that as well. And then time at the end of the class for Q&A for any comments, questions. Okay, so that's just the flow of things if you need to anchor into a little bit of the known of the path in which we're going today. So I'll invite you please to come into a position where you can be comfortable. You can roll your shoulders up towards your ears and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze there for a moment and then roll them back and down. You can do that a few times, just squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, hold, and then as you exhale, release them back and down. Do that a couple more times. It's so great to be here with you all. And then reverse that, come from the back space. Inhale as you reach and squeeze the shoulders up and just pause at the top and then exhale as they come back and down. A couple more times, getting out any kinks, any stuckness, any heavy or dense energy that often can get trapped here at the conjunction of the neck and the shoulders. And then let's just start a little tap. This is really good for the thymus. I can exhale, no one will hear you. Let the outside edges of your mouth turn upwards a little bit. And then you can do really gentle just on the top of the head. Here is an Ayurvedic marma point, a acupressure point essentially called Adipati marma. Just really gentle, stimulating and waking up. And then coming through, here's the lung line down the inside of the arm. If you traced from your thumb right up the arm, that's the line that you're going to tap. Just with a cupped hand, just tapping all the way from your shoulder down to the thumb and back up a few times. Activating the left lung. And then do the other side all the way down on the right arm or whichever arm you're working on. And then just give your hands a little shake. And then come into a place where the spine can be tall, not rigid, not stiff, just elongated, your eyes closed. Your hands can be on your lap or on your thighs. Facing down is going to be more grounding. Facing up, more uplifting. And any other mudra, any hand gesture that you would like to use is absolutely welcome here today. So begin by feeling your sitting bones connected to the floor or the chair, whatever you're sitting on, and bring equal weight down through both halves of your pelvis. Notice if you're tipping forward in your position or back, and make any micro adjustments so that you feel the shoulder girdle is floating over the pelvis. Often people sitting tend to pitch forward, so you might find that experimenting with shifting your weight of your torso back ever so slightly, you feel a connection of the sitting bones down into the ground. And as you exhale, relax. Relax your body. Relax specifically the tiny little muscles of the face. Soften back behind the eyeballs. Release the jaw. Even the tongue in the mouth. Let the tongue and the root of the tongue relax. Softening into the throat. Relax across the shoulders. and down through the torso. Feel down through your legs so that you're aware and living in your whole body. The exhalation will allow you to ground your energy. So elongate your exhale just a little bit. Feel the inhalation coming to expand, and then exhale all the way out. Follow the breath all the way to the end. Breathing only through the nose, keeping the mouth gently closed. And tapping into this collective of all of these other souls coming from all over the world here in this moment, breathing together, following the inhalation in and the exhalation out a little bit longer than the inhale. And as you're witnessing the breathing happening, notice if there's any place in your body that you're holding tension, if you're holding emotion. You don't need to do anything, just bring loving attention into that area, saying, I see you, I acknowledge you, and allow the breath to continue. Slightly longer exhalation. Face relaxed, jaw easy. And now I invite you into your heart. Bring all of your focus into the heart center. This energy center is more powerful than our brain. Science is proving the electromagnetic field here at the heart is 15 times more powerful than the energy of the brain. So let us use the heart energy, use the energy of peace, of love, to amplify and impact not only our own body and life, but out into the world. So imagine the energy of love at your heart space, radiating out in all directions, moving out all around you through your environment. Imagine this love energy moving from your heart to fill up your whole home that you're in, out into the streets of your town or your city. See that love energy moving in all directions from your heart to fill up your province, your state, your country. Begin to see this love energy from your heart, this luminous light, reaching out across the globe, touching every being, the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged ones, the plants, the rocks, sending love out, and also marinating in this collective love that we're amplifying, generating, and sending out intentionally. Setting the intention of healing for all. Setting the intention of sending out love to bring peace to those who are in overwhelm, fear, scared of the unknown. Sending out love to all who are living in a state of suffering, whether that be mental suffering, physical or emotional suffering. And allow this love back into your heart. As much as you give out, allow yourself to receive. Know that you are worthy and deserving of this unconditional love and this peace in your heart. Breathe that in. And we'll join together. If you feel comfortable, you can join me in 3 ohms, this healing vibration, this ancient Sanskrit sound of Om. You're welcome to bring your hands to your heart, to keep the energy of love in your heart space. And we'll chant 3 times. Inhale to chant. rubbing your palms together quite vigorously, the practice of palming. Once you've got some heat in between the palms, you're going to take your hands, and if you have eyeglasses, you'll want to just take those off for a moment. Place your hands over the eyes, block out the light, look out into the warm darkness. This practice is really good for your eyes, your eye health, and also for your nervous system. Once the heat dissipates, do this one more time. Rub your palms together. And then placing the hands over the eyes, let that light in. That energy pouring out from your heart, down the arms, through your palms, these two minor energy centers, chakras at the palms, into your eyes. Receive, receive. And then last time, rub your palms together. And this time, place your hands on any part of your body that needs a little bit more attention, healing, love. Place them anywhere. Breathe in that warmth. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the day. Namaste. So I thought I'd start off with just some practical things because in Ayurveda, we understand that our whole being, so there's different layers or koshas, for those of you who are familiar with yoga and the koshas, different levels of our existence. So our physical is just one aspect of who we are. So we definitely want to keep our physical realm, our Annamaya kosha, healthy and strong, of course. However, we also need to tend to the other aspects of our existence. Our mental, emotional bodies are so powerful. And also right now we're marinating in a collective consciousness, which appears to be quite fear-based. So there's a lot of intense energy moving through the ethers, which we're all feeling, and then we will be affected by it to the degree in which we leave our vertical, leave our center. The more that we can stay in our vertical, and what I mean by that is stay connected to love, to presence, to anchoring into the earth. So being in nature is really wonderful to have a really practical experience of that. And for some of you who might be in cities and maybe confined to homes right now, it's more difficult to really be in nature. So through our meditation later on in the class, I'll take you through a process where you can connect into that grounded earth energy. And then that will support in regulating the nervous system. When our nervous system gets dysregulated, we're open up and we're very susceptible to all sorts of things, right? It could be we're susceptible to getting sick. When our immune system weakens, it's like a gap in our energy field, and pathogens, virus, things can come in. So from an Ayurvedic perspective, our self-care and boosting our immunity takes place on all levels. Some things that I'm doing right now, and I just want to express a disclaimer, none of this is medical advice for you. I'm just sharing what's been working for me and what I do in my life, and if it supports you as well. Of course, anything you want to check in with your medical doctor or healthcare practitioner first. Some things that I've been doing and typically do throughout the winter are vitamin C, good quality vitamin C, vitamin D3 liquid are things that I take. I have turmeric every day in the winter, and I don't do everything 365 days of the year. I really do feel into things seasonally, and I feel into things depending on what my body is expressing. And this is really one of the most empowering ways to live our life, is from a place of connecting into listening to our body. Some people have no idea what that means to listen to their body, and that's okay. We're not taught to. We're actually taught not to listen to our body and to Google something or to ask some expert for advice. We're not typically taught what listening to our body even means until, right, we get sick or something major happens with our health that we have to listen, that we're sort of forced into slowing down or paying attention. Our body's constantly communicating with us, constantly. That might just be like, oh, I'm hungry, or oh, I'm really tired, or oh, blah, blah, blah. We're feeling something. And there's even more nuanced information from our nervous system, from our mental, emotional bodies, and how that intersects and expresses through the physical. So turmeric, I take in, I don't take capsules. I actually have a little, it's prepared. I don't prepare it myself. It comes in a jar. It's ground up turmeric that's in a little bit of coconut oil and lime. And I take a half teaspoon of that. I won't take that throughout the summer. There'll be a point that I'm imagining that I'll get to where my body's like, okay, I'm done with that. I don't want or need that right now. So I listen and honor what my body is expressing. The other thing that is going to be really important always, but especially now, is routine. In Ayurveda, when we don't have a routine, vata increases. Vata is the energy of air and ether, and it is aggravating to the nervous system when we're lacking routine. So some of you, I'm imagining, have found yourself not working right now and in a very different sort of Bardo state, right? This place in between. You're not here, you're not there. It's this strange, surreal existence. And if that's the case, I invite you to create a routine, to create, some things in your schedule that you're going to do every day to keep the regularity, to keep the vata, the aspect of us that can go out of place. And especially if you have more air and ether qualities in your constitution, if you're more light, dry, rough, immobile, tend towards anxiety, overwhelmed very easily, routine is crucial right now. And so, like, get out of your pajamas. I mean, it's okay if you're in your pajamas right now, but if that's been like, if you've been for a week in your pajamas, and it's okay, but I encourage you to start to create some form of routine for yourself. So for me, and this is, nothing has changed for me in really in my life and in my routine. I wake up, I scrape my tongue, I have warm water with lemon, lime if you're more heated, right? That lime is more cooling, lemon is more heating. I do my morning yoga practice. It's very simple. It's very gentle. I kind of roll around on the floor for a while. I do some sun salutations, but I've been doing this for 25 years every day. So it's in me, and that helps to create a container. Your routine does not need to look like my routine, but you need some bookends, especially morning and evening, okay, to stabilize your energy. If you're feeling overwhelmed or purposeless or lost, even more so, write it down, post it on your fridge. What time are you going to eat your meals? What time do you want to wake and go to bed? What else do you want to do in the day? Maybe there's one or two things that become a goal for you in the day. There could be a project you've wanted to do for a long time and haven't, but you're still finding like, I'm not finding the energy to move into that. So create a routine. It's really important. The body loves to know when it's eating, when it needs to eliminate, when it's sleeping. Okay. And you will feel more aligned when you get into a routine that is supportive to your nervous system and to all of the koshas, all aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, of who you are. Does that make sense? Okay. And you need to move every day. Some form of movement. And breath. We're going to do some pranayama in a minute so that we can go through this together. I know some of you are yoga teachers, you know this, and we're going to go through it together so that we're doing it, right? Knowing and doing, two different things. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed you can know a lot and maybe not connect, right? The bridge between the knowing and the doing can be very difficult sometimes. And especially if you tend to have a nervous system that is very fragile or more delicate, it might feel more difficult to engage in the practices or activities that you know on some level are going to support you. So start small. If you have a regular routine that you've been doing, great. If you've been floundering, start with a couple of things and keep layering onto that, okay? I believe wholeheartedly that laughter is one of the best forms of medicine that we have. and that we can have, and raising our vibrational thermometer to a place of joy, of love, of possibility. When we're in the vibration of fear, of powerlessness, it's a very heavier, dense vibration. So please, if you've hooked into the collective fear, let yourself have some sovereignty to hook out of other people's thoughts, opinions, so that you can really be of impact in the world, whether that's with your family, your community. We cannot be helpful from a place of fear, of overwhelm, and anxiety. And if you are experiencing those things, tend to them. Don't ignore them. Don't dismiss them. Don't think, oh, I have to be of service just because I'm a yoga teacher. No, stay true to yourself with what is arising within you. That's what needs to be illuminated and healed. And this is a beautiful time collectively for our individual healing to be amplified, to say, oh, wow, I didn't know that was there. I haven't been given the opportunity because life's maybe been more like this. And when the unknown comes, oh, wow, I didn't realize what was behind the scenes inside of me. It's nothing out there. What your experience is your experience. The external may be a beautiful catalyst, but your experience is inside of you. The world and the world situation has not put anything into us. And I think that's really important to understand and to separate from. What arises with inside of us is ours. So that's just something to consider. We can say, oh my God, there's this, everything that's going on out there. Oh my gosh. What is it bringing forth inside you? And how can you be with yourself, or perhaps reach out and get the support that you need, professional or otherwise, so that you can use this time in our history and our life as the deepest spiritual catalyst for the greatest awakening that you've ever known. The time is now. The time is now to wake up and to come to life fully, with full enthusiasm, with full possibility. This is such a beautiful time, such an incredible time, an opportunity to create new, to step into who you always came here to be. And maybe the shakeup is exactly what needs to happen. It's often, I work with a lot of clients, and through my own personal life experience, find that it's often not until, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. It's often not until great challenge or uncertainty or the unknown arrives in our life that we are given the gift of reassessment and of re-choosing, and to consciously step into a different way of being in relationship to our own mind, to our own self. Life is relationship. Our relationship to money, our relationship to health, our relationship to the environment. Life is relationship. So what is your relationship to your life right now, to your health, physically, mentally, emotionally? What is your relationship to your beliefs about the world, about divinity, God, source, whatever it is, about what is going on, right? World challenges. What is your relationship to it? And are you consciously choosing it, or are you just getting swept along with the masses? I was speaking with a client this morning and saying, look, those of you who are showing up to calls like this, you are the lights, and we need light bearers. We need way showers anchored in this planet that can stay in vertical, that can stay in their heart. Doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad day. Doesn't mean you're not going to be overwhelmed or have fear arise, but it means that you know how to come back to your center. And by doing that, this is how you can positively benefit the world, I believe. So laugh. I'm going to share a joke with you. Is that okay with you guys? This is not my joke. So I have a friend, here's a shout out to Carol, who I think she listened to my last podcast, and I was telling some jokes on my last podcast that a 5-year-old friend of mine told me. They're terrible and they're hilarious. They're even funnier when my 5-year-old friend tells them, because he doesn't really get what they are, but he laughs along. He's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then so my friend Carol reached out and shared with me this joke. I'm going to share it with you. So shout out to Carol. Thank you. Okay. The day after St. Patrick's, Paddywhack, the loans officer, goes into his office, a bit hungover. When a frog walks in the door and heads for the teller's wicket, he thinks he's seeing things. He barely has a chance to rub his eyes when he finds the teller leading the unusual guest right over to him. With an effort, he manages to close his jaw and asks, "What can I do for you, sir?" "I want a loan," says the frog. $50,000 should do it. "Well," he hedges, "for an amount that large, we usually ask for collateral." The frog reaches into his back pocket and takes out a small wooden carving, the sort of thing you'd see on the mantelpiece of someone who loves dusting. The frog hands it over, and Paddy dubiously accepts it. Seeing his expression, the frog says, "Don't worry, I'm good for the money. My dad is rich and famous." He winks at Paddy and says, "His name's Mick Jagger. You might have heard of him." Excuse me, sir? I just have to check with the manager." A moment later, he bursts into the manager's office and sets the carving down on the desk. "There's a frog out front wanting a $50,000 loan. Says he's Mick Jagger's son, and he's offering this as collateral for the loan." "What is it anyway?" "It's a knick-knack, paddywhack. Give the frog a loan. His old man's a rolling stone." That's the joke. I'm not a great joke teller, by the way, but I think it's important that we laugh and that we can really remember what's important, what we value in life. So there you go. And I've decided on my upcoming podcasts and teachings, I'm going to try and include as many jokes as I can. So I don't know where to get jokes from. If anyone has jokes, feel free to send them to me. Okay, you can email me any of your good jokes or your bad jokes. I pretty much just tell bad jokes, so you can email those to me. Okay, let's have an experience of two of my favorite pranayama practices that support in regulating the nervous system. In a lot of my teaching, I harp on the nervous system, the nervous system, the nervous system, because everything is based on the nervous system. I'm getting distracted. People are sending jokes in already. Everything is established from the state of our nervous system, the quality, whether our nervous system is regulated or dysregulated. And if we're operating from a state of a dysregulated nervous system, life is going to feel very difficult and very, very hard. So the two practices that I'll walk you through next are Brahmari, the humming bee pranayama, if you know it. Does anyone familiar with this practice? And then alternate nostril breathing, which is known as Nadi Shodhana. Anyone familiar with Nadi Shodhana? You've probably, and maybe some of you I know are yoga teachers, and some of you, if you've been to yoga, have done it. And if not, that's okay. I'm going to talk us through it. And if you know this practice, I'll invite you to come back to beginner's mind and just follow along with me. And then we'll see how it goes. No, I'll bring us out after those two practices. Before we dive in, for the alternate nostril breathing, I like to use this mudra. It's called Nasagra mudra. These two fingers rest here. It leaves your thumb and your third finger to open and close your nostrils, okay? If you're a little congested or blocked in the sinuses, you can visualize this practice. You imagine the breath coming in and going out. So that's also something like if you're sitting on a bus or an airplane, you can do this practice. If you think, oh, I'm going to look silly twiddling my hand in front of my face, and I don't want anyone to notice, you can just close your eyes, visually do the practice. There's so much power in the connection of visualization and attention and intention. So let us set the attention and the intention, the intention will be that these two practices that we'll do together will have a positive effect in regulating your nervous system. And the attention is the actual practice and process that I'm going to walk you through. Okay, so we'll do Brahmari first. And in this practice of Brahmari, I'm going to have to take this out for a second. You're going to press this ear flap just in. You're not sticking your finger into the ear. You're just closing off the entrance way. Okay, this is one variation of Brahmari, the humming bee breath. We're making a sound, just like the sound of a humming bee. Ideally, that sound, when you make it, is stable. It's not which you might find when we get into it. Take some practice to stabilize, to be very consistent in that sound. For those of you who are familiar with this practice, I'll invite you to visualize the energy coming in through the crown, down through Agya Chakra, down through Vishuddhi into Anahat Chakra. And you can also work with the mudra of the tongue, Khichari Mudra, where you're taking the tip of your tongue to meet the roof of your mouth and the back of your teeth. Okay, so just different layers. If this is new to you, just follow along the practice. If you're more familiar, you can add those different elements. Okay, so I'll talk you through the humming bee practice first and then into the alternate nostril breath. So find a place again where your spine is long and tall. You can roll the shoulders back and down once or twice. Right away, come into feeling your sitting bones in contact with the chair, a lengthening through the crown. Allow your body to be at ease. And we'll begin the humming bee breath. So you'll take your index fingers, closing the ear flaps, just gentle pressure. Elbows are slightly forward so your arms don't get tired, shoulders are relaxed down. We'll begin the first breath together and then just go at your own pace. I will continue so that you guys can all hear me, but just go at the pace that feels right for you. You're going to exhale the and then take an inhale in between each breath. So let us begin. Inhale. Once you've completed, keep your eyes closed. Keep your focus internal. And simply observe the effects of the practice. What do you notice inside yourself? And we'll move right away into the alternate nostril breathing practice. So begin by establishing a steady breath. As you inhale, count 1 Om, 2 Om, 3 Om, 4 Om, and then exhale for the same amount. So if you're inhaling for 4, exhale for 4. If you're inhaling for 6, exhale for 6. But keep the breath steady and even without any strain. So we start just by finding that baseline. And then maintain that. Once you feel established in that rhythm, you can slowly bring your right hand up into mudra. And then wait for the end of your next exhalation At the end of your exhalation, close your right nostril and begin to inhale for that same count through the left nostril. At the top of that breath, close the left nostril, release the right, and exhale for the same count, equal ratio. And breathe back in through the right nostril, same count. At the top of that breath, close the right nostril, release the left, and exhale. That's one round. Continue, breathe in through the left. At the top, switch and breathe out through the right. Breathe back in through the right side. At the top of that breath, close the right nostril and exhale through the left side. Continue. Slow, calm, and steady in through the left, out through the right, back in through the right, and out through the left. Complete one more round. Once you find yourself breathing out through the left nostril, let that be the end of your practice. You can keep your eyes closed and just lower your hand back down. Again, stay within yourself so that you can observe the benefits or the sensations or the transformation from these practices. And then come into your heart. So as we regulate the nervous system, it's so much easier to come out of fear into love, come into a place of peace, of possibility. And I'm now going to take you through a powerful theta healing practice. So you are welcome to stay seated. If you would prefer to lie down, you can do so. Make yourself comfortable somewhere where that you can stay present and not fall asleep. For those of you who are unfamiliar with theta healing, it is a practice that connects us to the energy of all that is, where we can, in essence, reprogram any conditioning that is no longer serving us. So today I'm just going to tap into what I'm hearing, what needs to come forth for this collective clearing and for this collective transmission. So all you need to do is relax, to close your eyes, to follow through the visualization. If you get lost, if you zone out, it's all okay. Just set the intention that you are open to possibility. I will call through some downloads, so essentially some reprogramming. If you would like them, just say yes in your own mind or outside. None of this is enforced because you have free will. So if the positive program sounds like a better way to live to you, just say yes inside your head so that your subconscious will know that, okay, we're going to recreate a new program here. We'll go from limitation into possibility. Okay, so I'll invite you to close your eyes, be either seated or lying down, wherever you're comfortable. And just allow yourself to be open to miraculous possibility. In A Course in Miracle, it said that a miracle is simply a shift from love to fear. And this is what we're doing here together and collectively, is coming back into presence, is coming back into truth, coming back into living from a state of wholeness. So we'll begin this theta healing process by feeling the energy at your heart. And send your consciousness down from your heart through your torso, feeling and sensing through the torso to the best that you can. into the hips and the pelvis. Scan your awareness down into the thighs and the knees, moving your awareness down through the shins and the ankles, into the feet. And then shoot your attention out through the soles of your feet. Imagine it going all the way to the very core of the earth. And imagine, visualize here at the center of the earth an incredible, enormous quartz crystal. See this quartz crystal shimmering, radiating, luminous. And the energy of this crystal is programmed with nurturance, with grounding, with stability, with safety, with health, with possibility and potential, with unconditional loving. So allow this energy to move up through all of the layers of the earth, to come all the way up into the soles of your feet. Visualize this healing light energy coming in through your ankles, up through your shins and your knees, all the way up through your thighs. Visualize this energy coming up into the hips. And I command that all of your chakras, all of your energy centers be aligned, awakened, and balanced. Starting at the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye center, up to the crown of your head. Feeling this opening through the central channel, the channel of Sushumna, or the center of the body, where our energy moves freely and easily when it is allowed, when we are in our most natural state. So from the crown of your head, imagine right above your physical head a little ball of energy, a little ball of light. And jump your awareness into that ball of light. And see that ball of energy floating up above the room that you're in, up into the sky, past the clouds. See that ball of light carrying on up into the cosmos, past the planets, all the stars. Keep traveling upwards, and you're still absolutely connected and grounded and rooted down into the earth, down into the earth's energy. And you're so rooted and grounded down into the earth's energy that you allow yourself to continue moving up and up and up into a layer of golden energy that refreshes and cleanses you. And then traveling up through more darkness until you reach another layer of golden light, bringing you peace and ease. And continue traveling up, eventually come through a layer of energy that is rainbow-like, multicolored, and a jelly-like substance. So keep swimming up through that energy, through that layer. Beyond that, you move through a pink, misty layer, the energy of compassion. Then off in the distance, you see a doorway. So float over to that doorway, and through the doorway, here you enter the energy of all that is, the energy of creation. And Creator, I command that unconditional love is sent to your body and to every cell of your body. So I'm witnessing unconditional loving be sent into each and every one of your bodies, to your cells, to activate the vibration of unconditional love in your energy field. Thank you, it is done. And Creator, I command that a healing take place, a realignment of the spine in the highest and best way. So again, I'm just witnessing these commands for your highest and best. So the intention is that Creator and your connection to your higher self and to the energy of all that is knows what is best for you. And I'm simply facilitating that and witnessing that. You too can witness these things. And Creator, I command that a healing take place in the highest and best way on a physical level to balance the nervous system, to regulate the nervous system, to bring the nervous system back to its most optimal way of functioning. Thank you, it is done. And I'm witnessing a soothing energy coming into your nervous system, calming, soothing any frayed nerves, smoothing out the prana, the energy. So can we take any conditioning, any energy, any beliefs that are rooted in fear of the unknown? Can we lift and clear those from your subconscious and send them back to Creator's light? Can we bring in the energy that allows you to feel safe, allows you to connect into faith, no matter what is happening in the external world? Would you like that? And if that feels like something that you would like to invite into your life, just say in your heart, yes. Allow that energy to come through, to come into your being, and to reprogram any old belief systems rooted in fear. Can we disconnect you from the collective conscious and any collective consciousness that is rooted in fear and anxiety and control? Can we lift and clear that and send that back to Creator's light and make you impervious to the energy of negative programming coming from the media, coming from other family members, coming from other members of society, experts, professionals? Can we allow you to be impervious to any negative energy that will pull you down and into fear? Would you like that? And can we instead connect you into your vertical, into your own authorship, and into your self-sovereignty? Would you like that? And can we teach you, remind you, show you that you know what that means? You know how to live from a place of harmony in your vertical, and that you are most effective from a centered and grounded place. Would you like that? So I'm hearing also to offer the command to disconnect you from any ancestral lineage, any patterns when any of your ancestors through time and space have lived through times of trauma, of war, of famine, of violence in their lives. Can we lift and clear any of that pain, trauma, and drama from you and send that back to Creator's light so that that energetic signature no longer needs to move forward through generations? Would you like that? And can we teach you how it feels to live a life that is no longer rooted in your ancestors' experience, that you are able to live a life from presence, from creativity, and from union with divinity? Would you like that? Just breathing that in. Can we disconnect you from the idea that living in fear keeps you somehow safe or in control? Can we send that back to Creator's light and give you Creator's highest understanding, perspective, and truth on where your actual control lies and where your actual ability to influence lies? And what I'm hearing is to bring forth the awareness that that lies within you, that the power is inside of you, and the power is in you, living from wholeness, not from scarcity, not from lack, not from fear, not from pain, trauma, or drama. So if you would like to anchor in the energies into your subconscious of clarity of thought, of clarity of feeling and emotion, and empowering you with the ability to choose how you respond to any life experience. Would you like that? And breathing that in. Can we anchor in the energies of peace and love into your nervous system? And can we also teach you and give you Creator's highest understanding, perspective, and truth on the pandemic and what we're moving through as individuals and collectively in this lifetime? And that it's not what we think it is. There is a lot of wisdom and grace behind this, and that you have the ability to transcend and transform the dense energies that are inside yourself from past conditioning, and also the collective energies on the planet, to take a stand for the life that you're truly wanting to live. If you would like that, say yes. Breathe that in. And can we remind you, teach you, show you, and remind you how it feels to live in a place of trust in life, of trust that you are being taken care of trust I'm hearing that there is enough. Can we lift and clear all scarcity mindset, all scarcity energy from your field, send that back to Creator's light, and bring in the vibration of abundance? Would you like that? To teach you how it feels to live from an energetic signature of abundance, that you know how to do that you know how to be generous, that you know how to live from a place of faith and trust, no matter what is going on in the external world, and that you're worthy and deserving of that, and that you know how to do that now, and that you are doing that now. Would you like that? I'm just taking in a deep breath. Just remembering that ball of light that you traveled up into the cosmos in. Begin to travel all the way back down and down and down. Coming back down past the other planets, back down into our atmosphere, past the clouds, back into the room that you're in. And see that ball of light hovering above your physical head. And imagine rinsing off in a beautiful waterfall. And then jump your awareness back in through the crown of your head, right down into your heart. And place both hands on your heart. Take a couple of deep breaths in. And notice how you're feeling. Notice any shifts in your energy from the beginning of our call today until now. And we set the intention that all of these new programs and downloads be effective immediately and be made in a way that is in the highest and best for you, with ease and grace and joy. So be it, and so it is. Take in another deep breath. When you feel ready, you can slowly come back into the day. If you're lying down, you can slowly make your way back up to a seated position. Just stay with your experience. This is the experience of theta healing. It's a practice that I've been using for years and find it to be one of the most powerful ways to transform the energy body and all aspects of our life through all of the different layers of who we are. And if that is something that you really resonate with, then I've just a couple days ago launched a program that has 8 of those theta healing meditations on different subjects of self-worth, of abundance, of ancestral clearing. So there are 8 guided meditations that you can use over and over and over again to tap into more positive programs. And I was really excited to create this, because this is one of the main techniques I use to heal, I think, in an expedited way after my partner's suicide. And I feel like it shifted things so dramatically to be able to begin the healing from the energy body and connecting into Creator. So if that is of interest to you, that's on my website. And for a limited time, it's for $44 Canadian dollars. So I wanted to open up a little bit of time and space. If there's any questions or comments, anything that you wanted to say or ask at this time, you're welcome to type something in or to unmute yourself. I'm getting some comments in here. Yes. Oh, beautiful. Sonia says, thank you. I feel it greatly. Karen, wow, that was so beautiful, calming and nourishing. Thank you. Namaste. So much gratitude. You're welcome. Val, thank you. That is sweet. You're welcome. Julie, so lovely. Melanie, thank you. That was wonderful. Namaste. You're welcome. Suzanne, your theta healings are transformative. Thank you. You're welcome. And that's my intention, right? That whoever connects into these audios, even this call after the fact, even if you're not here with us live, you're still getting the transmission and the energetic healing potential that this transcends all time and space. Gabriella, so powerful. Seema, thank you. I feel like a new person. Yeah, it lifts layers. It lifts layers. And sometimes it can seem almost too simple. Like, well, what really happened? Trust it. Trust how you feel. And make sure that you continue to drink lots of just water today, because is a recalibration of the energy system, and we want our physical reality and our energetic reality to merge, and the water helps to detoxify and helps us to be in that space. Beautiful. Melanie, I really connected. It was powerful, wonderful, and very powerful. Felt that in every cell. Yay! Sarah, I felt it a lot in my root and sex chakra areas. Yeah, and that's really what's up right now in the world. Like, our root chakra is fear, anxiety, and then when in the healed state, it's the groundedness, the connection, the tribe, right? So even us coming together virtually, it's still like tribe, like-minded people. All the weirdos show up together. It's great. So beautiful. Maria, thank you. I've missed you. Oh, will you be able to share the recording with us again? Yeah, I'm going to share this recording with you, so you can go back and listen to this meditation as well. And there's also on my website, on the Theta Healing course page, there's a free little meditation. It's a very quick Theta Healing meditation connecting you to the energy of unconditional love. It's right on the that page on my website, so you can check that out as well if you haven't already. Julie, really had a meltdown this morning, not been sleeping well, is feeling a lot of fear. Yeah, so it's okay what arises, and what arises is coming up so that we can be with it in a different way, instead of rushing through our life when we don't have time to deal with these deep emotions that sometimes aren't ours. And I just want to really reinstate that. And that's what came through with that ancestral clearing today, is there's been time that our ancestors have been in war, in famine, in these times that live in the vibration of that lives inside of us. So that disconnecting from that, to know that we don't need that pain, trauma, and drama to move forward. And in fact, we can move forward saying, honoring our ancestors, what they went through, and that we don't have to carry the energetic burden of that and pass that down to our children and our family. So please, yeah, Julie, beautiful, and honor how you're feeling. And it's okay, and it will shift and clear too. So thank you for sharing that. Patty, thought I was running the show today. Much more grounded. Good. Great. Just what you needed. Sandy, thank you. What you needed. Claire, thank you. Wonderful to be with you in this group. Yeah, what a lovely group, you guys. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being here. And let me know if this is valuable, if offerings in this way of joining online are useful, and I'll sit with what else could come through. Charlene, thank you. Can't wait to do the course. Yay! Got goosebumps several times during the practice. Yeah, it's deep. Julie, feeling much lighter. The lump in my throat is dissipated. My heart chakra felt really full. Nice. A lot of energy in my head, particularly around the ancestors. Yep. And Florence, they could be right there with you, right? Honoring and watching and probably celebrating and being like, yay, thank you that you're not carrying this forward anymore. Sarah, question of the humming bee pranayam. Yes, feel free to ask it. You can either type it in or unmute yourself. Susie, thank you for that. I felt my body needed to shake and cry out. Beautiful. And Susie, when it's such a great way for the nervous system is to move, to shake, to whatever impulse comes to move the energy, please follow that. Especially as we're moving the energy with the theta healing, your physical body might want to move some energy too. You might want to scream into a pillow. You might want to cry. let it come and let it keep moving. Okay. There's nothing wrong with emotion. It's just energy and motion. It's when we suppress it. And we've all had this, right? The energy starts to come up of maybe tears, and then we shut it back down because we're in public or we don't want someone to see. Every time we do that, we create, I call it a kink in the garden hose. It's really just a blockage of prana. And every time we have a blockage of prana, it creates a distortion in the way that the energy flows through our body. Our energy knows how to flow in its natural path and way when it's allowed to. When it's obstructed, that's when we get distortion, and eventually that will lead to dis-ease. Okay, that will eventually over time lead to physical disease.
I'm going to interrupt for a second, Melanie, because
Yes.
when Susie put that in, I saw her. She's a personal yoga teacher of mine. I'm so thrilled to see you, Susie. And I noticed we put a little thing in there, and someone saw my joke. So for all of you, what did the mitten say to the hat? I'll stay here. You go on ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Winnie.
9-year-old, and just a little laughter. Oh, I love it. Valerie's laughing out loud, although I can't hear you, Valerie, because you haven't unmuted, but you could unmute. And I'll go back to, I mean, they're just wonderful. And thank you, Melanie. I'm going to sign up for the course too. It's fantastic. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you for sharing your joke and your joy, Winnie. It's so beautiful to see you here. Great. I just want to see if Sarah, who had the question, I found I wanted to do him, I think you mean hum, much lower tone than what you did. Does it matter? No. And just follow, Sarah, what feels right for you. It's going to affect different chakras. So all of the energy centers have a vibrational tone, like a musical note associated to it. So let the sound that feels most right for you on that given day, you can tone that high, you can tone it low, you can tone it deep down. So follow that. Yeah, great question. Beautiful. No, it doesn't matter. I think it's just really letting whatever needs to come through, whether it's that more guttural sound or more higher up, is totally fine. Ashley, I needed this. I went to family constellation workshop where the healer told me my depression origin was from 10 generations ago. I believe it. I believe it. So much of what we carry is not ours. And we can't intellectually think our way out of it. This is where I'm so committed to the energy healing work because of my experience. It's not like, oh, I just read it in a book and think this is cool. It's like my experience of my life has changed from really going through hell and coming out in a way that I feel just in love with life for no particular reason. Nothing fancy is happening in my life, but I'm just like in the beauty of life, in the presence of life. And I know that that's possible for all of us, no matter what you've been through, because I've walked that path. And that's what I do in the world is I work with clients and my students to show them and to share with them how to walk the path of this is your life. This is your one precious life. It's getting shorter by the day, and the time is now to wake up, to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves so that we can literally experience heaven here on earth. We don't need to continue to suffer for our, forebears. We don't need to continue to drag our past, no matter what the past in your life has been, forward into the future. And I wholly believe that energy healing has to be a component of healing. It's not the entirety. It can be, but it has to be a component if we want to return to wholeness. We can't do that through just talk therapy. We can't do that just through an intellectual process, because we're not intellectual beings. Primarily, we are energy beings. Primarily, we are emotional, feeling-centered organisms. And we have the ability to be conscious, to wake up to reality that we choose to create. And if there's one thing that I'll leave you with, it will be that is to know that in every moment, you are the creator. You are the one who decides how you're going to think and feel about what is coming through you, to you, into your life. Now, I'm not saying that that is an easy thing to even know how to do. Most people, nobody teaches us this. This should be what's taught in school. This isn't taught in school, how to be empowered with our life. Instead, we're taught that if good things happen, we can be happy. And if bad things happen, we will be sad, right? In the most simplistic terms. So we live a life of being on a roller coaster. And society, we're on a big roller coaster ride right now. Do you feel that? There's a big wave of chaos into the unknown because we haven't been taught how to live from a vertical place. That doesn't mean we don't feel, that doesn't mean we're not in life. In fact, we're more in life because we're not in a program. Whenever we're in a conditioned program response, we can't be present. Both of those things cannot coexist. So to be present is the best and most powerful gift you can offer the world, is to be here, to honor whatever arises. If it's fear, if it's sadness, be with that, but don't make that your whole identity and don't make that your whole life. And know that you can move that energy. You can move that energy. Theta healing is just one way of doing that. Okay. And I was planning the full day with you at the Toronto Yoga Conference this week. Oh, I know. I'm sorry that it's not happening. And glad that you connected with me here. Thank you. Gabriella, truly lovely and healing energy. Val, 100% of value to be online and community. Oh, good. I know it's, in person is fantastic, of course, but online, I'm glad that we're still, there's value here. Carlene would love more of this. Yes, heart chakra definitely fuller. Great. Sarah, can you share more of how the theta healing helped you with regards to reframing the suicide of your partner, if you're comfortable sharing? Yeah, I wrote a whole book about it called Living After Loss, A Soulful Guide to Freedom. It wasn't a reframe, and that's, yes, ultimately it is, but not from, let me talk myself into it being different. It was actually an inner excavation of looking at all of my wounding through my whole life, because it all comes up in tragedy or in challenge. And that's what collectively is happening right now. We're being forced to look at our collective wounding, what we've done to the planet, what we've done to ourselves, how we're living out of alignment with the life we're really wanting. So for me, it was getting to a point where I was so grief-stricken, that I was so exhausted that I'm like, I can't live like this. And I'm so bored of the frickin' depression, the grief, the mourning. I actually got bored of myself, because I would track the thought and I would see where the thought would go, and I'd always go to the same place. And so I became very aware and realized that no one out there could change that for me. I was the only one that, as my thought pattern started to go downward spiral, I would stop. And that's a technique you can actually say, stop. When you catch yourself, stop. And then you get to choose. Am I willing to see this differently? There might be moments where you're like, nope, I'm going to keep going down that spiral. And that's okay. We have compassion on ourselves when we're so addicted to the grief or the anxiety or the depression or whatever it might be. But when we practice awareness, we go, oh, wow, what thought would feel just a little bit better right now? How can I redirect the prana, the flow of this energy, into a different upward spiral? And then we have to keep at it, right? Like one thought, next thought, and then, because we're going to fall back down, and then we have to do it. So I don't have the time to explain the whole process today, but I'd say, Sarah, if you're interested, you can find that book on Amazon, Living After Loss, and I walk you through different practices and techniques through there. And I also work one-on-one with clients in these ways to help support them reprogramming the negative beliefs and conditioning, and opening and offering a different life, a life of presence. Julie, thank you. So great to see you and hear you. I'm a little confused about how this time of year and what is happening is so opposite from each other, and what I am used to at this time of year, when I usually need to get up and move to get through the kapha, I am feeling I need to rest and relax instead. Yeah, so go with that. Go with what you feel you need, even though we're in the kapha time of year. So we're talking Ayurveda now. We're in the kind of the wet, dense, heavy springtime. But if you're feeling the vata, where you're like, oh my God, I just need to rest, I need to go down, I feel this is the perfect time that we kind of collectively have a permission slip a little bit, right? To be like, stay home, rest, sleep for 4 days, like whatever you need to do. Now is the time to build up the ojas, to build up those deeper reserves inside of you. So please listen to your body. Please listen to that inner wisdom. You will be guided by it. And then you'll know when it's time to get up and go for a brisk walk, or drink some ginger tea. But keep listening, and don't stay so rigid, even because things are different. Things are always different, but right now things are really different. So just honor that, honor yourself, Stay home. Yeah, relaxing. It's really the perfect time. I don't feel like we've ever had a time where collectively everyone's just like, yeah, gotta stay home, stay home. Um, Thank you, Melanie. Your words and sharing bring tears. I relate. I feel this is happening within me. Beautiful. I so support that continuing, ever expanding transformation and love within you, Sarah. It's beautiful. Susie, what I love about your perspective is how it facilitates the whole person, wholehearted healing. Learning with you is such a blessing. Ah, Susie, so great to see you here. So beautiful. Thank you all so much for your presence today, for coming together, for being part of the solution of bringing more love and light into this planet. I honor you. I bow down to you and thank you so much. And feel free to send me your jokes. All right, much love and many blessings.